To introduce the council member who has fought for this bill, passed it through our city council, and someone who has been fighting for drivers, ensuring that they get a fair share as part of this piece of legislation that took a little bit longer than I anticipated to turn into rules. But through your leadership, your fight, we got it to this point. And I want to thank you and thank you so much for always being in the community. We were in the Bronx just a few weeks ago, and drivers love you. And so again, you can see drivers love you today. And so I am honored that you are here today to speak on your piece of legislation and on the rulemaking that we provided today. Council member?
Well, thank you so much, Commissioner, and everyone on Team TLC this morning. I do just want to first start off by saying thank you for, being as timely as we could with this set of rules. We know it's going to be impactful and it's going to be super meaningful to drivers, so it's important for us to make sure we took the time that we needed to put this forward and for working with us throughout this entire process. So as mentioned, I am Amanda Farías, Majority Leader of the New York City Council, and the prime sponsor of what is now Local Law 33, which permits interior advertising in for-hire vehicles. This bill was written to create a new revenue stream for one of our city's most critical industries and enhance the rider experience while ensuring both safety and comfort. Additionally, my legislation encourages standardization of what experience consumers can assume to receive when hailing any car service, which is digital information and engagement from the community they live in or are commuting throughout. While I appreciate the Taxi and Limousine Commission's efforts in moving on this legislation, I'm concerned that the proposed rules on the agenda today stray from the original intent of my legislation. I want to make it clear that the intention of my legislation was not a suggestion, and regulations set forth by the TLC must support our drivers and the industry as a whole. I'm here today to testify on the record that I am concerned about the proposed prohibition of tipping on tablets. As described, the proposed rules would limit drivers' ability to receive tips through a convenient platform, would limit reducing their potential earnings and undermining the very benefits the legislation intended to provide. The tablets are supposed to empower drivers, make things simpler for passengers, and incentivize drivers to maintain high standards of service. Next, while the desire to regulate certain types of content is understandable, mandating what must be on the devices per ride is a little bit of an overreach. TLC should be clearer on their requirements for the 15% of content to be TLC provided. The questions that are presented to me when reading the rules: is this per ride, or is this over a 24-hour working period, 24-hour day period, or just a work standard period of 7 to 8 hours? I cannot support requiring 15% of content per ride to be TLC provided, as this will reduce the potential revenue for drivers and limit the diversity of content that could enhance the passenger experience. Finally, it is crucial that we find a balance between robust security measures and practical implementation to protect both providers and passengers without creating unnecessary hurdles. To that end, I seek your support in simplifying any reporting requirements to ensure transparency without overwhelming drivers and advertising providers. As we know, we, as city agents, we sometimes propose a lot of different requirements and don't necessarily meet the needs for the diversity that we have in terms of language accents, simplification of these requirements, and so on and so forth. We see that across our agencies, so I urge you to look at these requirements in that manner. It's important to note that interior advertising systems, as I envisioned in the legislation, are not aiming to replace the functionality of the rideshare apps, but to be complementary to them. The proposed rules would create a slimmed-down version of Taxi TV, when the legislation actually aims for a more forward-looking addition to our for-hire vehicles. The proposed rules go against the underlying purpose, namely to get drivers an additional revenue stream. The proposed rules consider these systems as if they are akin to a point of sale, even though they cannot track specific trips, accept payment information, or gather any personally identifiable information. Page 2 and 3 of the rules make it clear that there is a prohibition on credit card transactions on tablets, and page 8 restates this to say that a driver must not operate an approved tablet with passenger payment capabilities and must not accept payment from a passenger through any approved tablet. When I test rode with a Lyft driver who just had a tablet installed, I saw with my own eyes, through my own experience, that the tip function on the tablet was connected to the app on my phone and did not have any other personal information available. There were no additional steps I had to take, as the tablet in the car had reflected the ride information on my phone. This function is in compliance with these rules, and therefore the regulations should be adjusted to reflect the reality of the tablet's scope and information. I urge the Taxi and Limousine Commission to revisit the proposed rules to align them more closely with the intention of the legislation. That my team, the City Council, TLC, and the administration worked hard on to find common ground, and that worked for all of us. If these rules are implemented, we will be working backward from the months of hard work and negotiations we've already put in. Our common goal is to be supporting drivers, encouraging market competition, and foster innovation. By addressing these concerns, we can create a regulatory framework that benefits all stakeholders and gets these tablets working in our vehicles. Thank you for your time and consideration today. I look forward to working with Commissioner Doe to refine these rules and ensure that they best serve the interests of our drivers, passengers, and the broader community. And quite frankly, I'm really excited that this is the first time I'm testing in front of a hearing with all of you folks here today. So thank you for listening.
Again, council member, thank you so much for your advocacy. We take seriously the intent of the primary sponsor and writer of this bill, and we'll go back to the drawing board to make some changes that reflect some of your comments today.
Thank you. And
I appreciate it.
I look forward to a working relationship. Thank you, folks.
Okay, thank you.